because confusion can be such a heavy energy, especially in the society that values, logic and rationality. So there's definitely this tendency to overthink everything. So I want to share with you what you can do to get out of that cycle and what I call get into what I call the anxiety antidote. Because of course, anxiety, of course, is off the charts. I mean, there's just so much instability and uncertainty and chaos going on in the world that, of course, it's normal, unfortunately, to feel a level of anxiety. And oftentimes, what I have seen with my clients and with myself is that anxiety then starts to transfer into your relationship. You start overthinking and analyzing and questioning your relationship. And of course, all of this comes from a place of confusion. And confusion really is coming from this feeling of not being in control, because of course we all love control and want to feel that we have control and want to see that the actions that we're taking are having an effect and changing ourselves and changing the world around us. And when that's not happening, of course, we go into confusion. We start to question, why isn't that happening? Why isn't my relationship getting better despite all the books that I'm reading or all the help that I'm getting? Or, why is it that it's not meeting up to this idea that I had it was supposed to meet up to? And really, this is really the game changer when you start to look at confusion this way. Is confusion is founded on lies, the lies of the enemy. And it's like the perfect entryway for the enemy to get into your head. As soon as you start to go down this place of confusion and questioning and overthinking, the lies become it's like a barrage of lies. Like, oh, of course, you can't figure it out. Of course, this is going to be difficult. Of course, you're not worthy of, all the lies that come in that take you down. And really what they're doing, the lies are attacking who you are, your sense of self, your sense of worth, your sense of, what you're here to do comes into question. And of course, that's going to attack your relationship, because part of what you're here to do is to be in relationship. And so when you can start to become aware, and I'm going to share with you some steps of how to start to change this, that's when you can start to change. So what confusion looks like. This is how you can notice if confusion is starting to create some havoc in your life, is if you're noticing anxiety, you're noticing frustration, irritability, you're noticing self-criticism. And those are like the feeling sensations, right? And then how it might manifest is different for everyone, is that you'll notice that you are tending to, emotional eat or overeat. You're over drinking, you're maybe binging on social media, or you're overworking. So all of those behaviors are behaviors to distract yourself from the anxiety and the frustration and the irritability, which is being caused by the confusion. And so along this route, you can start to notice, and this is that first step, is to notice, what am I believing that has me feeling anxious, that has me feeling frustrated, irritable, that has me reaching for sweets, that has me reaching for that extra glass of wine, that has me wanting to work an extra 5 hours, or has me wanting to just totally numb out and check out on social media? What is the lie that I'm believing? And this takes practice, because unfortunately, our tendency is to be like on the path of least resistance. And the path of least resistance is to avoid, to just go ahead and grab that glass of wine, grab that piece of chocolate, sit in front of your computer, work those extra hours, and numb out, and not become aware of what is actually driving that behavior, and then following the little thread, the breadcrumbs back to the feelings of confusion and overwhelm and frustration and irritability and self-criticism, and then following that back even further to, well, what am I believing that is creating this whole cycle? that is sending me down the rabbit hole of destructive behaviors and oftentimes creating even more distance in your relationship because, of course, when you're numbing out and distracting yourself, you're not connecting with what your heart truly desires, nor are you able to connect fully with your partner. And really, what is happening here is, like I mentioned, the lies that are coming in that are driving the feelings, that are driving the behavior, are an attack on who you are. And that's exactly what the enemy wants, because what it's going to do is to separate you from the love of God. Because as soon as you start to attack yourself and your sense of self and your worthiness, you start to lose hope. You start to feel helpless because, of course, that desire for control is so strong. And when you start to lose that sense of having the power to make change, you start to lose that hope. You're disconnecting from God because God is the God of hope. You start to even sometimes probably question God, like, why isn't, where is he? Why isn't he helping? And then the next part that starts to come in is you start to think, well, you have to do it all on your own, which starts to reinforce this pattern, because then you start to become super self-focused, super self-absorbed. And of course, that's going to create even more anxiety, because having to do this all on your own, it's not meant to be done on your own. And as you increase that anxiety, then you're going to increase those behaviors of those self-destructive patterns. So how you get out of this? The first part, like I mentioned, is notice all of those sort of uncomfortable feelings as they arise. If you're not noticing that, then notice the symptoms. Notice the overeating, the overdrinking, the social media binges, the overworking. And then come into a place of being able to catch it. And this is the second step is be curious. What is it that you're believing about yourself that has you engaging in these behaviors, that has these feelings of worthlessness or helplessness or self-criticism coming up? And then take those thoughts into captivity. You don't want to let them run willy-nilly, run free in your head, because they're just going to take root and they're going to dig in and they're going to become stronger, and you're going to start to believe them even more, which is going to increase this pattern even more. So you want to notice them by noticing the feelings and behaviors. Second, you want to take them into captivity, like put them in jail. And with curiosity and compassion, ask, is that true? And is that what God says about me? Especially when you're having those self-critical thoughts come up. And is that who God says I am? And then the third part here is to like rebuke it, reject it, renounce it, and proclaim the truth. So what I like to do is give yourself even just 5 minutes and write down all of the lies, all of the thoughts that are coming into your head, and put it in a column on the left side of a piece of paper. And then that second step then of this process would be, on the right side of the piece of paper, you're going to counter every lie with the truth of who God says you are. And read it. So you're going to read through one by one. So you're going to say, I reject the lie that I am helpless. I proclaim the truth that I am powerful and I can do all things through God. I reject the lie that I have to be in control of everything and that I'm not competent and capable of doing the things that I desire to do or that I feel called to do. I proclaim the truth that I can do all things in God, that God designed me to do good works, that I am powerful, that God has a plan for my life and has equipped me with the skills and abilities and talents to achieve that plan. So state it out loud. And now, of course, the most important part is to take action. So when you're in that place of believing the lies, of course, you don't want to be taking action, because you're going to be taking action out of a place of feeling like you have to prove yourself, taking action out of a place of fear, taking action out of a place of powerlessness, of scarcity, of hopelessness. And when you're taking action out of fear, those actions aren't going to bear fruit. So you definitely want to follow these steps first. And then the final step is going to be to take action from faith, because what you're doing here is you're rooting yourself in the truth. And you want your behavior to result from your beliefs instead of your beliefs resulting from your behavior, right? So when you act out and things aren't working out, then you start to believe, you're not worthy and you can't, things never work out for you. And why is it so hard? You start to attack yourself, but you want to flip it, ground in the truth, and then take action from the truth, from the belief, because your behavior will naturally change as you ground in the truth. You will take behavior that supports you, that is loving to you, that is loving to others. You will take actions that opens you up to deeper levels of forgiveness. You will take actions that open you up to seeing things from different perspectives and really connecting to higher levels of creativity so that you're able to accomplish more while not having to do all the hustle and striving and all that stuff that oftentimes society values, but doing it from a place of being called instead of driven. And how this impacts your relationship is as you let go of the questioning and overthinking, which is leading to the frustration and irritation and criticism of yourself and your partner, and instead coming into the truth of how God designed you to be in relationship and how God designed you to love and to be able to experience a deeper level of love because of how much God loves you, because of what he's done for you, then you're able to begin to look at yourself through new eyes and begin to look at your partner through new eyes, to be coming from a place of love and forgiveness and seeking understanding and leading with compassion and curiosity instead of the criticism and bickering and battles that often result when we're coming from our own self-interest and from a place of, shame and in all the lies of not valuing ourselves or not thinking we're worthy and placing unrealistic expectations on ourselves and our relationship. So this is a total game changer. As you do this, the drama is going to disappear in your relationship and is going to be replaced by a deep level of intimacy and connection and higher levels of communication and passion, and really allowing you to experience what it's like to be in a divine relationship. And of course, that's going to change how you show up in every area of your life. So it's not compartmentalized. As you begin to change internally, of course, it's going to impact your relationship. And of course, it's going to impact your work. And of course, it's going to impact how you show up in your body and the decisions you make about the types of foods that you eat, the types of movements that you do, and how much you start to see yourself as the temple. And so you're going to want to make different decisions about how you treat the temple that you are. Not only with food and exercise, but also with what you're putting into your mind when it comes to social media or even just, entertainment. And of course, what you're putting into your mind as far as your thoughts and beliefs, because that's where it all starts. So it's a definite renewal of your mind through restoring your heart to the truth. So you always want to start with the truth. So I would love to hear your questions, and I would love to hear your comments, how you will put this into practice, and what it is that's really like the sticking point right now for you that you would love to see yourself being freed from. And of course, I would love to have you jump on a call and we can work through that together to see what it is that you are really, what's got a hold on you that you're ready to release. And what would it look like once you release that? What would it make available to you to be able to walk in a place of power and truth and faith and love and forgiveness and joy and freedom? It just keeps going. Okay, so a couple ways that you can do this. You can book a call with me, and there's a couple options. I have a 3-month divine relationship mentorship where we really walk through what it looks like to learn to see yourself with heart vision and to see your partner with heart vision, to create those clear boundaries and have that higher vision for what you want your relationship to be, and to really be able to strip off all the masks and throw out all the scripts and come back to who you truly are, because you want to be loved for who you truly are, not for who someone wants you to be. And then from that place, really noticing the changes as you start to change that will start to happen in your relationship and the actions that you're taking. So that is an option if you want a deeper level of support and guidance. I also have a what I call a soul spa. If you just want just a one-time come in, like wrestle with something and turn it around and really start to take steps and have some tools and actions to take to start to step into what it is that you truly desire. So that is another option. So you have the divine relationship mentorship for longer term, and then you have the soul spa, which is a one time, really you and I digging into your most pressing challenge and your most deepest desire, and what we can do to help you take the steps to and learn the tools to start to release that and step into a new story. So I am excited to hear from you, and I can't wait to see how you can put this into practice. So reach out and let me know, and I'll talk to you.